that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. I'm singing my song. I'm gonna let y'all sing it. No, I'm not. I can't do that. I can't do that. Come on. Boom, boom. It's not the song I was singing. Where's my jive song? Take that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. I didn't know what a shark silhouette looks like. Boy, we're gonna talk about disaster capitalism, the collapse, food scarcity, and a few other things. Jive, Bowden, crime bills, and what else we gotta talk about? Faking recovery, because you're lining the pockets of the billionaires and funding your campaigns. People still politics.
Hit that jive, jack, put it
in your pocket till I get back. Hang on. Hit that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. You know what got me singing that this morning? It's that damn commercial. The commercial where Jive and Bowden says that 1,000 people a day die of cuckoo virus. Like, man, come on, cut that out. How many people die of crime bill every day? You ain't fix that. Please fix that, Jive and Bowden. Can we fix that ever? Can we fix the crime bill? And it's funny to me because they apologize for the crime bill and they ain't never fix it. They never fix it. Like, we're gonna die about the crime bill. We made everybody's life not matter. They didn't change it. They don't care. Check this out. Put it in your pocket till I get back. Going downtown, see you, man, and ain't got time for your job, man. Take that job, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. Don't time and time, they pull it again. I ain't got time to shake your hand. Take that job, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. See you, man, and ain't got time for politics. Happy Friday. I get back. I don't have time for jive. I have no time for jive on people. The people go ahead and jive on their own. Good morning. Take that jive, baby. Put it in your pocket till I get back. Gone downtown, see you again, and I ain't got time for Jive and Bowden. But that's Trump too. I'm sorry, I ain't got time for none of them. Good morning, everybody. Hang on. Good morning, good morning. I'm supposed to think that's one of my favorite songs now. Because I don't do jive. I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Q, ain't nobody got time for that lady. Ain't nobody got no time for that. We ain't got time for your jiving about cuckoo virus. All right. But also, as I try to see if YouTube is going, am I still banned, you bad monkey? I think I'm still banned. Couple things. We'll do a follow-up to yesterday. Society thinks it's okay to drag poor white ladies out of benches. Brother went down to the police station. I talked about that. And we got to talk about silent martyrs. And the reason why I don't put nobody on blast, don't like to do that. Please do not be a silent martyr, people. Don't be a silent martyr. Do not do it. Stop YouTube. I'm going to spin up VK. I'm going to try YouTube real quick. We'll give people a chance to come in. Do not be a silent martyr, people. When you live in a time where the mass is suffering from mass delusions and they're okay with your oppression, do not make a stance. It's not the time. It's not the time. People do not make a stance. You will be a silent martyr. People don't care. Right. Scared people do not care. Scared people, if they're more scared of something that's out there in the air killing people, they're not going to worry one bit about what happens to you. You got to know how to fight, but you also must know when to fight and who to fight. There's some battles you must lose to win the war, but if it ain't even a battle, if you are facing the majority of the populace, I have to say it this way because I don't know else how to say it. People, keep your jobs. Please keep your jobs. You have to survive till we have a real battle. We are not in a real battle. This is a battle. It's a fake battle. Most of our countries are still voting. Most of our countries still listening to their government scared of cuckoo viruses. We don't have time for losing, the ability of those who understand what's going on to lose their ability to eat food and pay mortgages and rent, stuff like that. People keep they tell you to wear a mask, please get yourself a bandana, put a fake mask on, a fast. Put a fast. It's a fake mask. You can roll it so high up, you can get all the oxygen that you need. But do not lose your job if you need it. If you don't need it, then you do what you got to do. But every struggle comes along with an understanding that you have to survive till the battle occurs. If you don't survive till the battle occurs, you'll be a silent martyr. Don't be a silent martyr. It's a tough word for a good brother, but some of y'all are on it too much to be throwing away everything that you've learned, known, and to become homeless now and living on the street. And we need you in the real battle. All right. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I don't want to elaborate. Just people, do not lose your ability to survive and eat. We need you to fight later. We need more people who understand what's going on, fighting, not less. And that's not going to come from us fighting for drama today. All right, the whole mask thing, people, that's drama. That's all it is. It's just drama, right? Now, if they are requiring N95 masks in public, that's a whole nother discussion. All right. This is just drama. People, do not throw away your power for drama. That's all I'm saying. Don't throw away your power to pay your bills for drama. All right. Real struggles are coming. And besides, is that Lori? Lori, how long you been wearing a mask? We're going to ask Lori. Ask anybody in the medical profession, right? Because you know how we say that, people have been struggling a long time. This is not new. Everybody else, welcome to the struggle, all you privileged people. A lot of people have been struggling a long time. Ask the nurses how long they've been wearing masks or get the flu shot. They dealt with it. Be strong as Lori. Be strong as some of the people who are medical professionals who know better, but they deal with it because it has to get dealt with. You got to be around to fight later. All right, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm not chastising nobody. I'm nothing like that. I'm gonna try to fit you real quick. Did I even share the damn thing? I didn't share it. Did I? Oh, yeah, I got shared. Did I share it? I don't know if I shared it. Let me try. I didn't share it. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Happy Friday. Who do we got to have? We got to watch something today. We got to watch the fake recovery. Fake recovery. All the more evidence to show this is fake funk file, flipping file, fake file, jiving, jiving statistics, jiving people, jiving masks, jiving. All they're doing is just jiving. Don't waste your time on drama of people jiving. Don't do that. Leave other stupid fights and grow and unite. Exactly, Christine, because I'm gonna hesitate on the word stupid. I'm just saying ignorant people must be involved in ignorant struggles, right? Don't get involved in the ignorant struggle. There's a whole lot of sharks circling. Don't be Nemo in this crowd thinking that these sharks are your friends. These are fish, not food. See, Christine, see where you're sending me? You're sending me somewhere. Hang on. Y'all remember Finding Nemo? Nemo was okay with the shark. Why? Nemo was okay with the pharmaceutical industry. Nemo was okay with Fauci. Nemo was okay with Jive and Bowden. Nemo was okay with Trump. Nemo was okay with the British government. Nemo was okay because the sharks was Nemo is friend, not food. The real world does not work that way. All right. Sharks are circling, and some of them you related to. Most of them are corporations. All right. We're gonna talk about police too. Gotta talk about police people. The problem is not the police. Please catch a clue. Catch a clue. It's in your face, right there in your face. The problem is the system, it's not the police. So we got to go there too. What am I doing? I'm gonna try to fix this YouTube real quick if I can do that without and run my mouth at the same time. My friends reply, "Oh, that's not a problem for him." That's not a problem for him. He can run his mouth and chew bubblegum, spit, jump rope. That mouth does not shut off. Boy, it just gets to going. I can talk. I got the gift of gab. I know where it came from. Got the gift of gab because I shut my family up every time. All right. I'm thinking. Let me see. Next streaming software to go live viewers. I'm trying to see if I can go live YouTube another way. Because other ways work sometimes. Oh, you know what? Webcam, right there. There you go. Let's try webcam. Let's see if I sometimes you hit it. Oh, it's access by another device. Hang on. Boom. 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 We can hang on for YouTube for a minute. Boom. 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 I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. All right, I'm not gonna do it. I have to figure that out later. I'm thinking there's some other ways I can. Sometimes corruption can be the issue. I'm just gonna try to spin up VK and see where that goes. All right, VK will work. Boom. Oh, look at that! Everybody here. Ooh, it's hot. Hang on. Ooh, good Lord, it's like a slave plantation here. Hang on, let me turn the fan on. Look at my fan on. It's gracious. It's hot. Anybody hot? It was freezing not too long ago. Damn, climate machines are things y'all playing with. It's hot. All right, maybe that'll do good. I might have to open the window. Anyway, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Everybody saying grandmama? Everybody say grandmama safe? That's what Lori, what'd you say yesterday? Grandma don't need your help. And usually, my grandmamas never needed my help for nothing. I needed their help yesterday. I was shucking peas. I was shucking beans, picking beans, shelling beans. Good morning, everybody. Oh, food scarcity. We got to talk about that. Congress finally told the Americans, y'all. Actually, Britain told their citizens too. Britain just told their citizens another way. Britain said, we're going to put soldiers in the grocery stores. They told them another way. In America, the congressman said, hey, y'all act like it's not happening. Food scarcity is coming. It's coming. Food scarcity is coming. Food shortages is the word he used. Food shortages are coming. And every last food shortage in America was caused by your U.S. Congress. Every last one of them. Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Or they do. Maybe they do. I don't know if they do. I don't know. I don't really care. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Volume. Somebody said the volume was too loud yesterday. Can we get a sound check? How we sound this morning? Good morning, people. Party people. Some of our friends have been losing their jobs. They have, Lori, and in my opinion, if you, well, okay, I'm gonna pull, no, this ain't my opinion. If you got children, keep your damn job. Keep your damn job. Don't, because you're not living for yourself. That's number one. You're not living for me, Lori. The truth is, anybody else that I hate that name, but that's what people call people who like the truth. Don't lose your job if you got some children. Get yourself a damn bandana and go to work. You are not living for you, you are living for them. That's number one. Number two, if you're single, you gotta make your choices up. I just think that you need to really think about, are you fighting wise? And I have some friends that are homeless. You know what? They don't care. They'll fight one leg, half an arm crippled, half an eye, living in a car. You gotta ask yourself, can you fight effectively that way? Yes, Brother Tony, buy seeds now. Buy seeds now. And it's too late to buy seeds. We've been telling y'all this for a long time. All right, this is how they reset civilization. They've been doing this a very long time. Trying to reset the currency and give you your new billionaire-controlled normal without freeing the human race. All right, a couple places I gotta go today. Where are we gonna start? Oh, look, we're gonna start on the follow-up from yesterday. We'll start on the follow-up from yesterday. Because, yeah, I told you I would not sit in the bleachers and just watch when I'm not gonna sit anywhere and watch anybody get abused. And is it stupid for me to get involved with somebody that's abusing a woman, whether they got a badge or not? Yeah, it is. It's stupid. It's stupid. People don't do what I do. You do what you do. I'm just saying, I know me. I've known me for 29 years. I know how stupid I am, and I know when I do stupid stuff. I don't have a choice when it comes to certain stimulus. Certain stimulus, I know exactly how I'm going to respond. So that's what I was telling you yesterday. Would it be stupid to get involved in that form and fashion? Hell yes, it would be stupid. So let's go to the video. There was a brother that went down to the police station afterwards, and he said a few things I thought were quite important. Quite important. Who posted this? R.C. Bush posted this. Good morning. Good morning. Planting for autumn is happening here. Yeah, Christine said, good idea. The food shortage will continue into autumn. This is not a short-term this is not a short-term gig. Oh, we didn't put NEMO up. Let's get NEMO up real quick. Hold on. Gotta get NEMO up because that feeds along with the jive. Do not believe anybody's jive. We're sharks. Fish aren't food, they're friends. That is a nursery tale. Corporations don't get around and say grandmama is a friend, not food. No, grandmama is Big Pharma's food. Let me find NEMO. Right here. Here you go. Here you don't be Dory. Don't be Dory. Don't be swimming towards a shark. When you know what the silhouette of a shark looks like. You know what I'm saying? Somebody laughs. Somebody had kids. They know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen Finding Nemo, you don't know. If you ever see the silhouette of a shark, please say to yourself, that is a shark. That is a Fauci. That is a Bill Gates. That is a for-profit corporation that sells international shots. They are not here to say, grandmama, you, anybody else. Their default condition is to eat. They might lie before they eat you, but they are going to eat you. All right? You can say the same thing for government. And I don't know, our people still out there fighting with the cops. The problem is not the cops, people, which is why I got to show you this example. Hang on, let me grab NEMO. The problem is not the police, people. It's the system. Please, please get a clue. Please figure this out. I need you to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. You have a police state. The police are doing their jobs. The people you consent to and vote to write laws that you don't like, so you don't follow them, so the police come out to make you follow them. Do not blame the police. Look within your own, go in your house, go in your bathroom, look in that mirror. That is the problem. The problem is policing. Right? They have been given powers, and now the job is to rule you. Mostly because you don't have a government, you just got rulers. Let's put NEMO. Look how cute he looks. Look how NEMO. Anybody got family members look like, oh, they're just so cute. They just, we're gonna put it right between the sharks. Oh, it's just so cute. Look, he's right there. Look. Fish are friends. No. They said fish are friends. They're voting. The left is on our side. The right is on our side. Donald Trump is going to save us and save children. Jive and voting is going to undo the crime bill. He ain't never done no crime bill, but he going to undo it. Nancy Pelosi's on our side. Big Pharma's. Oh, we might have to watch Fauci today. Did anybody watch Fauci? I didn't watch Fauci, but I heard he had a talk yesterday. Was that the clip that I showed yesterday? They said for 15 minutes he was talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm going to tell you, there's about zero chance I'm not going to listen to Fauci talking about Black Lives Matter and health. That's what it was. He was saying that we need to get the politics out of health. It's literally a politician on television. No. He did a talk with the guy who hates Aborigine women. What is that man's name? The racist guy, the one that doesn't, he's got that show that everybody love to watch. They think he's funny. He's got a bushy head now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He said that Aborigine women are all ugly. That racist dude that everybody forgave, but they didn't forgive all the other people who made the racist comments. They made them get fired from their shows, and this man still got a show. And I'm not saying I want him to get fired. I'm just saying that we need to be honest and unselective with our racisms. Daily Show, the guy who does the Daily Show, y'all know who I'm talking about, the African dude. So he did a interview with him, and I didn't watch it because I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. If you're gonna say all my Aborigine sisters are unpretty, and you can apologize. He apologized. I don't know if he apologized. I really don't care. I do care and I don't care. If you apologize and you got millions of dollars for the Daily Show and you can abuse Aborigine women that way, I need you to go to I was gonna say go to Aborigine. I need you to go to the Aborigines in Australia. And I need take that bank account with you, baby. Take the bank account with you. And I need you to make it right to my sisters over there. Because you said something foul, you got a big name, big channel, big influence, and they ain't got no water. All right, a lot of them still slaves over there. Got little towns that they put the Aborigine. Go over there and help the Aborigine people and prove to us that you actually aren't just apologizing to keep your job, but you're apologizing because it's true. So anyway, I don't talk about that. I want to talk about the fact that Fauci went on his show to tell y'all that we need to get the politics out of public health. So he's a politician. He's going to help get the politics out of public health, and he does not look healthy. That's why I call him Fauci. Fauci, not the foul. You got Foul and Chi, CHI. Anytime that somebody is not healthy, they're failing. They're failing. First of all, he doesn't know anything about health. That's number one. If you're a doctor, you don't know nothing about health. I'm sorry, you don't. Most of them have no damn idea because they don't train doctors in health. Health is a thing that you do. You have to science it. You actually have to do it and prove that you understand it. What's the Latin word for science? Understanding. Science means understanding or truth, something like that. Somebody look it up real quick. So we need to know what's true. And they came along with the scientific method later. We can go through all of that down the road if you want. But if you live healthy, if you are healthy, please speak about health. If you are not healthy, don't talk about public health, private health, deep state health, person health, baby health, adult health. Don't do it because you didn't science it yet. I've scienced it, people. I have. I don't know what's healthy in you, but I do know what's healthy. I don't know about public health. I know about Gerard health. Gerard ain't seen a doctor in over 15 years. All right, Gerard health is on point. See, that's just because you 29. Yeah, well, that's part of it. You know, that's part of it. I stopped being stupid. I stopped eating what's on TV. I stopped eating what's in the commercials. I stopped eating what the government is helping you, saving grandmama told me to eat. I stopped eating what they subsidize, and I started eating what's free. And guess what? I stopped listening to the doctors, and guess what happened? Guess what happened at band camp? I stopped getting colds. I stopped getting flus. I stopped getting headaches. And all of a sudden I realized, damn, you know, these human body things, they work without doctors. You know, they work without that stuff. You don't even need, I was getting on my mother yesterday and she kind of hung up on me. I know, I'm a little devil sometimes. I was getting on mama because mama grew up on a farm. Mama grew up, sometimes you got to be honest with your parents. Sometimes you just can't lie and just be a subject to their authority. I tell her the truth, mama. You say, well, you don't come down and do my garden. Yeah. I said, grandmama said, mama, unprecedented time. First of all, that's number one. That's my excuse for everything. Slavery was hard this year. They didn't shut down. A whole bunch of people didn't go to work for some damn reason. And I said, no, grandma, mama, you didn't grow up on a farm. How you want to tell me you don't know how to plant your own lettuce? You know how to put in tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, and you know how to do all of this. Cabbage, I didn't spend 1,000 hours in my life sitting on your mama porch in El Dorado, Arkansas, picking beans out of shells till my little fingers turned green and got that little scabby thing and wrinkled like you've been in the pool too long. Don't tell me you don't know how to grow no food, mama. Grow some food. Big old yard down there. And so I kept getting on her. She went to the doctor. I tell you what. If I had a sack of wet potatoes, I'd slap my brother in the face with a sack of wet potatoes. See, well, grandma sent mama to the doctor. Said, Mom, well, why you go to the doctor? She said, well, I ain't been in 6 months. I said, that's not a reason to go to the doctor, mama. That's not that's not a thing. It's not, you ain't seen a doctor in 6 months. That's actually good. That means you're doing something right. You need to keep more doing of that. You go to the doctors, they got machines and dialysis and test machines and things. They're going to find something wrong with you to get you on a drug because they're not healers. They're pharmaceutical sales reps. They will find something wrong with you and get you on drugs. So that's why I got slapped my brother with a sack of wet potatoes. So I was getting on her. I was like, Mama, you don't need drugs. You don't need drugs. Remember how you used to play Nancy Reagan's commercial for me? He said, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. You don't need drugs. You don't need pharmaceutical drugs. You don't need narcotics. You might need some natural medicine, some herbs, some chiba, and some cannabis, but you don't need synthetic drugs ever in your body. The human body works. All right. Now, why am I off on that story? Because we're talking about Fauci, doctors. You don't actually need a doctor. If you're healthy, you don't have a doctor. Okay, here we go. And so Fauci was, he talked 15 minutes about Black Lives Matter. So you know we're going to watch that. First, I'm going to go to the stadium. This is a part of the conversation. This is part of the conversation because people are now starting to realize that you have a police state and you believe in the
I am
Jive.
recording at this point.
You need to stop trusting the Jive. Picking sides. We all gonna die together. Do not have a side.
I am currently at the Logan Police Department filling out a verbal and written complaint against the Logan County Police Department for removing Alicia Kitts from a football game because she was not wearing a mask. The police officer attempted to detain her. She resisted. She was not breaking any laws. She wasn't hurting anybody. There was nobody anywhere near her or the entire family that was sitting there. This officer, Officer Smith with the Logan Police Department, which the supervisor will not bring down, I've requested for the captain to be called in, and I'm not leaving here till something's done. They don't act like they want to do anything, so maybe we should just fill Logan with protesters. Maybe that's what we need to do to get the police department to do something about it. But, Alicia Kitts and myself have had our differences over the years. We have a 5-year-old together, and her other sons I consider my stepsons, and she was wrongfully done by Officer Smith. The video is on my profile. Share that. I think that we should let the world see how Officer Smith thinks is appropriate to conduct himself, tase a woman that has one hand in handcuffs, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to do this paperwork. I'm going to leave this go. I have asked for the captain. Have you contacted your supervisor?
I'm sorry?
Have you contacted your supervisor?
I'm attempting to get information on you.
Oh, here, I'll give you my ID. I got nothing to hide.
Did you hear what he said? See? So let me be clear. I am 100% in solidarity with Black Lives Matter and White Lives Matter. The people in the movement who know there are problems. Not the people at the top of the movement that make big money keeping the other people top of the other movement line to everybody giving that jive, keeping it going. So get that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. I don't have time for your sustainable movements helping each other. So this is interesting, right? So the brother's doing the right thing, but we have to treat this like we treat every other situation, which is why I was glad, if you remember from yesterday, that it was a black cop, 300 pounds at least, and maybe 250, and a little white lady, as y'all call them. I don't believe in races, but that's y'all's thing. Y'all still like to talk about that stuff. So from that perspective, and she was 150 pounds, 120 pounds. He had one handcuff on her. We couldn't see from the video yesterday. And he decided it was a good idea that he had to tase her. First of all, if you got to tase a woman and you ain't got no handcuffs on her, if you have to tase her, either one, she is a devil demon flying through the air, witch super strong, she took some Tai Chi or something else, or you eat too many damn donuts. All right, I'm sorry, you 300 pounds and she 150, you got to tase her, something wrong with this conversation. So I got a lot of things I got to say about this. So he's writing a complaint, which is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, to write the complaint, because you're a person and you are still a citizen to police. You are still a citizen, and they are still public servants. That is not their job to serve you. It's not the job to serve the public. The job is to serve corporations, because you have a police state. You do not have police, and it's not their fault. They don't write the laws. So he got up, he's writing his complaint, which he should do, because they abused this little lady. Same way they abused the brown people, the black people, the white people, the green people, the yellow people, the orange people, the immigrant people, the people who's been here, the people with the money, people without the money. Anybody who's not in the big club is a target for debt collectors. And that's what they're doing. Because she didn't have on a mask. But that really wasn't the reason. And this is why I'm telling you that this is drama. Don't get caught up in this drama. Don't end up getting in trouble or losing your job and nonsense over this drama. He got up because a guy said, well, yeah, he said, bring me the report or whatever, and the police said, yeah, first we're checking you out. Did you hear that? He said, yeah, we're gonna check you out first. I need to know who you are. Because I'm hungry. Circling sharks. NEMO, circling sharks. Please do not go to the facilities that capture slaves unless you got a clean record. If you ain't got no clean record. I tell you, when I went to college, a good friend of mine, one of my best friends growing up, he went to prison. I went to college, he went to prison, right down the street. Criminal organization, taking a child at the age of 17, putting them in a prison. And I used to go visit him on the weekends. But nothing more scary in my life to be the age of 17, or I guess I was 18 at the time, to know that in my country, after I passed civics class, that there is a place that they take children and they put them behind bars with grown men who are pedophiles, abusers, made that way. That's why I say the hashtag save children. I'm not too interested at this point in time until I see that it is about saving all the children. Oh no, I had to make sure I had a clean record. I was making sure I was clean because I had a cousin who was driving my car. She's getting parking tickets all over DC because my father gave her the car. I was like, man, I don't want to go here. You better make sure these are circling sharks. You're not coming with a complaint, and you have a Wall Street corporation. You got a warrant. You got something that you done did that we ain't got time to come get you. You in here, we gonna get you. This is a good example of why the problem in police. The problem is policing. They get quotas, and they have to serve them quotas.
Himself, tase a woman that has one hand in handcuffs, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to do this paperwork. I'm going to leave this go.
Listen,
I have asked for the captain. Have you contacted your supervisor?
I'm sorry?
Have you contacted your supervisor?
I'm attempting to get information on you.
have you contacted your supervisor? No. I'm attempting to get information on you. You look like you ain't missed a meal. You got tattoos, brother. You fit the description. That's why I told you that you got to get out the neighborhoods you live in, because people think that the police are always after black people. No, they're after the people they think they can abuse. They're after the people they think they can collect debts from. They have a job to do. The job is police stating. The job is not policing. In his neighborhood, he must fit the description of somebody they feel like they need to do in. Somebody who can't afford a lawyer and fight the powerful system that puts bread and biscuits on their table. Police aren't the problem. The system is the problem. Right? The police go to work and they got kids that they need to take care of the same way you got care. What do? You're an accountant, a banker, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer. You feed into the system the same exact way. And that's why Urkel is right here. Why? Because did I do that? Yes, you did that. We did this. We consented to this. We built the whole system.
Oh, here, I'll give you my ID. I got nothing to hide. Nothing at all.
I didn't
I
see what
have no
you
warrants. I have no nothing. I'm just a pissed off father at this point because your police officer was in the wrong. Not happy. Not fucking happy at all. I've traveled this entire state back in the blue, supporting the blue, spoke at several different rallies trying to keep the peace against police officers. I stand for police officers and I respect police officers, but this police department better do what's right. Patriots and 3%ers across the nation, I may need you to come to Ohio. Share this, please. Logan Police Department up by Lancaster. Yes, Kyle, it's over the video. Everybody's seen what happened. take action. You're the supervisor, right? You're in charge right now. You can pull him for the night until an investigation can be done. You can replace him.
He's going to be done here in just a minute.
Oh, so he'll be in here, right? I'd like to have
he's going to be here or not.
radio to him. Tell him that he has somebody that would like to speak to him personally.
I'm going to say no.
I
he's
will be.
not going to speak.
I have been very respectful to you. Upset, yes, but I would like to have a word with this man and see. And I'll wait.
We'll see how that works out.
I will wait.
Here, wait a minute.
No, I need to sign it. Yeah, I will most definitely wait for Police Officer Smith because he needs to answer for how he acted, for how he conducted himself in front of women, children. He manhandled a 110-pound woman, tased her when one hand was in cuffs, and 2 of my sons got electrocuted from
You
it.
want to put a 1 there? It's 1 page. And I'll tell you what, if you want to draw a line from here to there, that way no one's going to be concerned about anything being added.
What is the date?
The 23rd. That's not the date, that's the time.
I'm so upset.
The time is 20:02. It's 23rd. Here. Nope, that's old me.
I'll wait in the waiting room. When is her court hearing?
In a week.
I need a copy of the ticket, please.
Well, she's got a copy of the
Okay,
ticket.
I need a copy of the ticket
Well, you're
because
not
I'm
privy
contacting.
to it.
If I get her on the phone and give permission from her, then you can give me a
What
copy.
you can do is, listen, what you can do is you can have a seat here. We'll talk to the officer, see if he wants to talk to you tonight. All right?
I'd like to see him drop charges. Maybe we can eliminate a whole lot of issues here in Logan if it all just gets dropped because it's all bogus, every bit of it.
We can't do that.
But then I'm not
Because we use
responsible.
force on
Okay.
a 110-pound woman.
Yeah, you did. You tased a 110-pound woman with one hand in cuffs. Big bad cop,
Sir,
right?
Sir,
Big black back. Hang on, let's play the race card here for a minute.
you
Everybody
don't-
else
you
in the
don't wanna
country
do
is
this
well.
because you're verging on being invited to leave. All right?
How would you feel if that was your child standing there? You married? You got kids?
I'm married and got kids.
Okay, you're a police officer. If somebody did that to your wife because she didn't have a mask on and she was doing nothing
My
wrong,
wife would have got up and left.
he didn't give her that option.
Sir, you're incorrect.
How am I incorrect? Was his body cam on? I'm requesting that body cam footage. I'm requesting the body cam footage and a copy of the ticket.
Well,
This is complete horseshit. I wasn't the only person down here complaining. I guess there's been several complaints about it. There was a gentleman standing here talking to the same supervisor that I am. I won't release his name, but he did give me his contact information in his email. I'm speechless. Daniel, Militia, my son's mother, was arrested and brutally attacked by the officer, tased. She was tased while she had one hand in cuffs at a football game. No, Sydney, I'm not okay. Yes, Randy, that girl is my 5-year-old's mother. Her constitutional rights were violated. There's no doubt about it. She was outside. She wasn't in a building. I understand school protocol with a mask inside the building. I understand that, but she was outside. They were the only people in the whole row of bleachers. Oh, no need to be sorry, Richard, because if we have to, I will fill Logan with patriots, and we'll stack up outside their building. Never thought that I'd say that needed to be necessary here in Ohio because I've always been an advocate for the police. I've always backed them. I've always respected them, but I'm to the point now where this supervisor doesn't want to do anything about it, so I'm going to force their hands. They're going to have to do something about it because it's horseshit. I believe Alicia is going to, she's going to get her wrist looked at. I can hear the supervisor back there laughing now like it's a big joke. Troy, I'm looking into attorneys for her. The full video of the arrest is on my page, guys, if you want to watch that. Share it. Let's make Logan Police Department famous. Since they don't want to do what's right, they won't even get me a conversation with the arresting officer. They won't give me a copy of the ticket. They won't nothing, so. Yvonne, if you're still watching, I need Alicia to call down here to this police department and tell them, give them permission to release a copy of the ticket, a copy of the body cam footage if he had it on. Pretty much give me the right to get all the information on the ticket. Because I am going to contact an attorney, and since this supervisor doesn't want to do anything about it, I requested for the captain to be brought in, but I don't believe they even tried. Shift change should have been at 7, so we'll see if Officer Smith comes and has a conversation with me. Or Smitty, as they call him here in Logan. Phone's ringing. It's probably Alicia calling to give... Yes, Troy, the cop was black, and I'd say he's in the upwards of 300 pounds. There was no need for him to taser her while she had one hand in cuffs. She did nothing wrong. She was sitting there minding her own business, and he'd come up thinking he's big shit. Rufus, that's a good idea. I will send that to Fox News as soon as I get an opportunity. I'm finishing up here. I want the opportunity to speak to the arresting officer. Sitting on metal benches, Levi and Nathan both felt the tase as well. I don't know how it traveled through the bench, but it did. Yeah, Troy, you ain't kidding, that's wrong. And they don't want to do anything about it. But I've issued a written complaint, a formal complaint, a verbal complaint. I don't know what they're going to do. If they don't do something, we'll flood this town with patriots. I'm not for defunding the police by any means, but I'm for holding police accountable. Hit the share button, guys. Yes, Amanda. Aaron, go back and look at the video I just posted. It's Levi's mom getting arrested, tased while she's had one hand in handcuffs. They tried to arrest her because she didn't have a mask on. At a football game, sitting outside on the bleachers, nowhere near anybody. All it was a cop on a power trip. And might I add, in his video, at the last part of it, he pulled his mask clear down off his face. And then the female officer that come up behind him, she didn't have a mask on at all. So, is he getting Officer Smith to come in? I could be here all night, or I could just start getting people lined up out front. Either way, I don't care. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's really hard for me to try to teach my 5-year-old to respect men and women in uniform when you're going to have a cop do that to his mom. It's really hard for me to teach my son to respect a man and woman in uniform when he's going to see somebody do that to his mom. Unconstitutional, unjust, and it was brutal. No, wearing a mask is not a law. You are correct. It is a mandate. They violated all kinds of her rights by trying to force her to wear one and then by arresting her for not wearing one. Thanks, Zach. I grew it myself. The phone number for here. I don't see it anywhere. And would you all take a notice that the supervisor in the building itself did not even have a mask on either? So if they're going to enforce mask rules, they need to wear them too. I haven't wore one this entire time. And had that officer tried to arrest me, it would have been a whole nother story. Tom, yes, it's looking like we will be coming to Logan. Date and time to be announced at a later time. It's a pretty small little police station. Ace Baker, the city and state is Logan, Ohio. It's the Logan Police Department. The video of Officer Smith is on my page. It's circulated all over Facebook by now. I believe the captain of this unit looks like Captain Gabriel is on the door, but he refuses to come in. Excuse me, what's the phone number down here? What's the phone number down here?
385
385
6866.
6866. That's 740 385
6866.
6866.
Okay, I think that was enough. Okay, let's lay this bag of snakes out if we can. Couple things. Most important thing I saw from this, and I saw a few awesome comments from the press. Supporting blue. I'm gonna relate that to technology. Right? There's no such thing as good or bad technology. It's just technology. You don't ever want to support a system. You don't ever want to support blue. You don't ever want to support black. You don't ever want to support white. You want to support common sense and critical thought. Things are just tools. Systems are tools like technology are tools. You don't ever want to be in support of anything blind. That's number one. They can convince you that technology is good or bad, a system is good or bad, a blue, a white is good or bad. You're a fool. Love you to death. And I think this brother did the right thing. It's a good example of like understanding and seeing what happens when we get set up by Jive. Right? Set up by Jive. All right. You can fire the police if you want to. I guess his name is Officer Smith. Doesn't matter. Ain't gonna amount nothing to a hill of beans. I grew up out of the outskirts of Washington, D.C. I've seen them put drug dealer after drug dealer after drug dealer after drug dealer in prison. But because you have a market for natural medicine, because you have a society that creates mental illness and people hate your jobs, your careers, your system, your politics, they will do natural medicine to deal with the crap that they have to deal with every morning that they get up. So as soon as they took that drug dealer off the streets, by the time they got him in handcuffs, somebody else was looking out the window ready to take up the corner on that block. It's pointless to fire police. Zero. Police aren't the problem, it's the system. All right. The officer did something wrong with the statement that the good brother made. This is what I'm saying. I appreciate everybody. I'm on everybody's side. I just think that we don't dig down to the root level. We get lost in the mid-tier jive and we need to dig down to the core concepts. The police they did nothing wrong. The police did nothing wrong in this situation. The complaint's a good idea. It's the right thing to do. Get a lawyer, good idea, right thing to do. However, the police did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. The woman has no rights. The men have no rights. No lives matter. That's why I say it all the time. They say Black Lives Matter. I saw my white folks on the way to work. Everybody, they're not out there no more. Maybe they're figuring it out. I get out there, get in the car, and drive, and they're like, Black Lives Matter. I'm like, hey, white people. No, they don't. They ain't never mattered. They ain't never mattered. They ain't never gonna matter till we fix the system. And not too far down the street, I go through my land. It's kind of more of a right side Trump land. I see them out there. They're out there protesting. We got to get back to work. This was a few months ago. White lives matter. Like white lives matter. Yeah, brothers, yes they do. No, they don't. No, they don't. The problem is the system. You have a police state. Everybody hates the police state. Please focus on the police state. Stop focusing with the police. The police did nothing wrong. They did their job. All right. They always do their job. Right? There's a job from a law perspective, and then there's a job from a power perspective. Their job is to go get you off of that land. So the other thing that's unaddressed here was whether or not she had a right to be there. And once again, none of this has anything to do with whether or not I'd have got involved. I really don't give two damns about anything. I'm not going to let you abuse anybody in front of me. I have one job on this planet, and that is to not let you abuse anybody in front of my face. That's never going to happen. I don't care who you are. However, she was in the wrong because the kid was 5. And unless I'm wrong, they weren't on school property. School property you should own, right? Because you pay your taxes, that's your law. You should own that. You can go sit on the bench if you want to. You know, wearing masks is not a law. It's a mandate. Nobody knows what the hell a mandate is. No one knows what a mandate is. I had a joke, I won't go there. Mandate. So, yeah. Most likely it was one of these little intramural leagues at the age of 5, right? Out there playing soccer somewhere, private property. Right? They can kick you off of private property for any reason they want to. Wearing a mask, wearing the wrong skin, wearing the wrong shoes, saying the wrong thing, coughing up cuckoo virus or whatever else. The kid was 5 years old. Got a problem with that. Of course, I thought the kid was like a teenager yesterday. And he made a powerful statement. He said, how am I supposed to tell my children to support Blue? And at 5 years old, he's watching Blue drag his mother off, tase her, and throw her in the back of a police car. Maybe it's because you're not supposed to tell your child to support Blue. Maybe it's because you're not supposed to tell your child to be black and proud. Maybe it's not because you're supposed to tell your child to be white and proud. Maybe you're supposed to tell your child that you are a god and goddess. You are born on this planet. You are a beautiful creature. You are subject to no authority of nothing other than natural law. Go out, live your life, and don't blindly support any damn thing. Because you got bad cops. And you got good cops. I think most of them are good. That's my experience. If I grew up in a different place, I almost guarantee you I'd say most of them were bad. Like you got good teachers, like you got bad teachers, like you got good doctors, and you got bad doctors. Don't ever be in support of teacher. Nah, how crazy that sounds. I support teacher. That's like saying I support Blue. It's crazy. No teachers out there diddling kids and all this other crazy stuff that they don't have. The teachers don't even want to be teachers no more. The good teachers done left. The Department of Education made sure of that. Shoot, teachers, the people who like love education, putting together lesson plans, loving children and teaching, they got out of there. They're like, hell no. That's not what this is about. Same thing with police. Most of the good police, I think, left in most areas. The only police in bad areas are police that want to do bad things. The majority, not all of them, but probably the majority. Why? Because if you're going to be a police in Washington, D.C., and Chicago, and New York City, which is decaying as we speak, yeah, you don't have any issue with violence. So, but that's one that we got to swallow. A couple other things. Let me see. Anything wrong? Oh yeah, he said this is horse manure. Sister Desiree said, yeah, it's horse manure. Horse manure is good for growing things. It is. It's great for cultivating, and it is horse manure. It's great for cultivating new normals. Police states are required for empires. We are watching the collapse of an empire, which leads me into the next thing I want to show you. But the other thing was defund the police. And that's why he said, I'm for not for defunding the police. I support blue. And Christ said something that made perfectly good sense, which is right in line with it. You don't need to defund blue because defunding blue is the same thing as firing the police. It's pointless. The system is still there. They can get rid of blue and bring drones. They can get rid of blue, bring RoboCop. They can get rid of blue and bring in China's police force. They can get rid of blue and do the IDF. Bring the IDF in. How's that? How would you like that? Shooting people with rubber bullets and drones and stuff like that. Kids. Think about it from a system perspective. Systems don't make mistakes. As a systems engineer, I will tell you all day long, systems are designed. They don't make mistakes. If it's not doing what you want, doesn't mean it's broken. Most times it means you don't know what it's designed to do. You're in an empire that's collapsing. It requires a police state. It doesn't matter if you defund the police or defund police officer. If you keep the system, you have to defund the entire system. That's what Christ said. Defund the entire. You have to defund the idea of power. You have to defund the idea that human beings aren't the sovereigns of their life. I don't know what the tapping is, Tracy. I don't know what it is. I'm sitting still. I'm not moving. Y'all still here tapping? I'm literally sitting still. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong headset. Oh, is this the right headset? Oh, you know what? This might be the wrong headset. Oh, it might be me. It might be me. Hang on. Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Deanna. Hang on. I gotta show you something else. Something else that was powerful. Got into it. This is not gonna be a quick one, but this might be a quick one. I don't know. I don't really drive my day, but I think it's gonna be a long one. I'm not sure. It's something I want to show you, but slavery doesn't work that way. You don't get to choose. Talk about some more Jive. Ooh, this is Jive right here. We got to look at the Jive real quick. This is what I was gonna show you next, but this is Jive. Food shortages are coming. Food shortages are coming. Fine, they're trying to tell you. If y'all don't follow Ice Age Farmer on YouTube, you should. He's going to explain to you a lot of things that are happening. Oh, I didn't change the thing. I'm sorry. I said I was going to change the thing. I didn't change the thing. Hang on. Hit that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. Down, going downtown, see you again, and ain't got time for jive booting. Hit that jive, man. Put it in your pocket till I get back. Intermission. All right, there we go. Did the tapping stop? Sounds like a waffle back in echo. Yeah, Ice Age Farmer, Melissa. Is that better? It's not better? Tracy, you trolling me this morning. Tapping again? No, but tell me now, because I just plugged in a new headset. So this was his last video. He was talking about the coming food shortages, the ones that everybody told you about, the ones that everybody's saying coming, except for the people on the news.
Let's do that. I'm Christian, and this is the Ice Age Farmer broadcast.
None of the lending facilities established have targeted the needs of our agriculture industry. Now, why do I mention that? Food. It's coming. I mean, I can't see why people can't see this crisis. Food shortages are coming. It's almost like the farmers have been the forgotten ones. All the food chain is going down. You hear about the closures. The food processors are going out. Farmers are coming. These are small, most of them, but they're very important. Why can't they be qualified as small businesses? Where are they? They're getting lost in the shuffle. And if we get a food shortage, we're in,
Yes, only they're not forgotten, are they? In fact, they are explicitly targeted, farmers, ranchers, as something that we need to eliminate, as described by the Rockefeller Foundation's Reset the Table plan. This document, part of the Great Reset that we're all experiencing, enjoying right now, describes the intention of eliminating farming and ranching as you and I have known it, and replacing it with these synthetic lab-grown meat, insect protein, indoor farms. It's pretty ridiculous and dystopic, but they have agents in positions of power executing on that agenda right now, one of whom is Governor Inslee in Washington, who took it to a whole new level this past week. Instead of just shutting down farming, he literally committed an act of agricultural terrorism by taking apples from the governor's mansion to East Washington, the actually productive areas of his state, for which he holds nothing but utter contempt, perhaps because they're more conservative. These apples that he brought with them to make people feel better, look at this political stunt, mask on, baskets of bioweapons in hand that he passed out. Now the Washington Agricultural Division is actively trying to get these apples back because they were infected with apple fly maggots that could, he took them out of a quarantine area into the most productive agricultural land in his state and risks all of the apple orchards there. As you and I now know,
there's a bunch of other things there. Food shortages always come from Congress, all right? Always. Every single food, every last damn food shortage that you've ever had has come from your government. That's just a fact. Come from the kings and the lords. You know why? Food is free, and what Christ just said, food is everywhere. Ignorance also is everywhere. Right? They've destroyed the crops. They've destroyed the land. They've subsidized pesticides, growing apples in places they shouldn't grow apples, or the wrong variety, places they shouldn't grow the wrong variety. So you got to spray it with all these chemicals so it can't defend itself. It doesn't have an immune system, and so it gets apple rotten, diseases and everything. He put them in a bucket, in a barrel, and he took them to another area and spread apple fly, whatever the hell apple fly is. It's bad. All food scarcity comes from ignorance. The planet, you are on a Garden of Eden. If you're not teaching your kids to grow food, if you don't have the Department of Education, food is one of the subjects, you are the cause of food scarcity. All food scarcity comes from Congress, outside of the fact that they're making sure that you starve. The greatest control of the human population is starving them. Hungry people will do anything. Thirsty people will do everything. All right. This is why you can't dig a well at your house with the water underneath your house. This is why you can't grow food because, oh, deer are going to come in the neighborhood. We don't like that grass. No, it's because they don't want you to be able to stand up and support yourself and accept the new normal. Because the new normal always comes. There's always a new normal. We went through that the other day. So there's something else that they're doing, and this is the California cuckoo virus. California Governor Newsom announces new testing tool to expand workers' compensation. They've released new tools to test workers on farms. They're new tools to test workers on farms. I think that was the one. I'm not sure if that was the news or not. He went through a bunch of it. I personally watched the whole thing. So they're testing workers on farms. Why would they do that if food is so critical and you die without food? Well, because if the farmers have cuckoo virus, then they don't get to work. If the farmers can't work, the field hands can't work, they got to go home. They got to quarantine for 2 weeks. If they quarantine for 2 weeks, they don't create as much food. Only a psychopath would do that in a time where food lines are miles long and you know food scarcity is coming. So every cause of food scarcity is ignorance. Every cause of food scarcity has always been the kings and lords and your government. Congress is the reason why you're going to have food shortages, and mostly comes back to, by Congress, I mean us. Because you know what? Urkel hit it. I did that. We did that. We voted, paid taxes, and we literally are supporting them. I see starved people signs on the way to work every single day on the way to slavery. I see Jive, Bowden, and Trump. All I saw is see starved people, starved people, starved people, starved people, starved. And that's what they're going to do. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do with Jive and Bowden. It's the fact that the system is Jive. You need to put it in your pocket. The system is Jive. Is one, we are Jive turkeys. Like my father used to say, we Jive turkeys. Because we scared. We about to get roasted. It's almost Thanksgiving. And we accept all the jive they got to throw us. I think the last bit was the UK. He always hits farming news, which is great. It's why you guys should follow him. Farm workers leave the fields due to cuckoo virus testing mandate. There you go, right there. So they're getting the farmers out the field, telling the farmers, hey, you need to be in the field growing food, but you need to come out the field. Be in the field growing the food. The people are hungry. Y'all need to come out the field. Two tongues, they waggle at both ends like this. Democrats and Republicans. And your government too. How the kings and lords always operate. You can starve the people. Somebody posted it. Government cheese. Well, it's poison, but then get you to line up for food, then you'll do anything. You'll get the vaccine, you'll agree to new laws, you'll agree to admitting what all of us have always known for a long time. You ain't got no government. You have rulers, owners. They own you. Nobody's governing with a military complex. Nobody's governing with a police state. They are abusing you, and you are consenting to the abuse and the oppression. The problem is not police. That's when I circles back around and ask you something else. Oh no, the other one was the UK. The UK is putting Salisbury, Salisbury. I used to live in Salisbury. What happened? Salisbury made a national list of cuckoo virus hotspots. How many cases came from the poultry plant? Maryland won't say. Yeah, I don't know if I know anyone who still lives. I actually know some few people live down there. I'll reach out to them and I'll find out from them. I suspect I'm gonna call them. They're gonna say, nope, ain't nothing happened there. Salisbury's about this big. They just got their Walmart was it 10 years ago? They're this big. I used to live there. Had great pizza. A little small town down in Maryland, owned by the poultry man. Poultry man, little guy with a bald head. Not Fauci, but Purdue, owned by Purdue. Corrupt little town. I remember down there. They used to drive. His kid used to drive down. When he had one kid who used to get in car accidents all the damn time, never got prosecuted. You know why? Because there are no police. Okay, if you got money, you're not subject to the laws. And he owns all the, it was 80% of the poultry at that time, and all the chicken in America came out of Maryland, once again, we are owned. They own us. Very few people control the entire food system. So yeah, that's interesting. I know that the poultry plants down there are jam-packed full of immigrants. So maybe because the immigrants couldn't come in this year, maybe the Americans are down there growing. I don't know. Ooh, a central New York greenhouse becomes a hot spot for cuckoo virus. Okay, so he's just going through all the different ones. I want to get to the UK. You know, all the reasons why, you can't let people grow the food because they're getting cuckoo virus. And most people believe it. Most people believe it, which is why I posted something earlier today. So don't take facts, arguments. No, don't take facts, reason, common damn sense, evidence, science, or mathematics to an emotion fight. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. I did that. I've been doing that. I got to stop doing it. Okay? People who are scared of cuckoo virus, they're not listening to your facts. They're not 99.8 or 99.9% survival rate. They can't hear that. 9,210 people died. They can't hear that either. They can't hear mathematics and the science. They're not going to go to OSHA website. If they go to OSHA website and realize that the masks don't work, they're still not going to believe it. You cannot take logic to an emotional fight. Most people are scared to death. You still have people who are hiding in their houses now. And I have to pull myself back because I find myself getting in too many discussions with people who are petrified, right? And it doesn't mean that we're smarter. Once again, it doesn't mean that we're better or anything like that. It just means we're the conspiracy theorists in the tribe. We're the ones who are supposed to be saving the tribe from chasing the buffalo off the cliff, saving the tribe from going in the cave with the bears. We're the ones who are saying, hang on. Hang on, I don't think there's abundance and productivity and love if we get in them slave ships. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what's on the other side. I think if we get in them slave ships, if we agree, because slavery is always a choice, and we put these chains on, I don't think that they're going to give us equality and freedom and democracy on the other side where they drop us off in ships. I think it's something else waiting. I want to get to the UK. UK! Yeah, he goes through all the news. Boop, 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 boop. Anyway, the point was, because it's going on through the next I'll show you, is that the UK is using the military in grocery stores, which is coming up. So they're deploying troops for food distribution places and grocery stores. And they're not doing that because they got too much food. Okay? So once again, Britain is in the same pile as in America, the same pile as in Australia, the same pile. Well, not Australia. Australia in the same pile. Australia is deep at the bottom of the pile. Australia is in the pile of poo-poo. They're in the same pile of doo, but they're way at the bottom. They on massive lockdown. While the Americans are clapping for another lockdown. Like the Australians way down at the bottom, and the Americans like, oh, lockdown, 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 lockdown. I don't have to go to work. And it's just like, yeah, it's not gonna play out that way. You do not want to be, because they're playing politics, is what's happening. You have people who are like, they politicize the cuckoo virus, and they don't know that on the other side of this is not gonna be nothing fun. If you are politicizing with making a global medical police state and locking you down again, you think the new normal is just going to be you politicking and posting on Instagram and fighting on Twitter with Donald Trump people or left people or right people. You think that's what the new normal is going to be. That is not what the Rothschilds and Rockefellers had planned. And this is a good reason why. I have not looked at CrossTalk in a minute. This is an awesome CrossTalk. Can't do the whole thing, but I'm going to do part of it because they had a few truth bombs in the very beginning of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I only half kind of sort of listened because I was shucking beans and getting ready, and I was fixing the koi pond, and I pump broken. I was gardening this morning, and I was repairing a car. That's what I do before I go to slavery and waste my time. This is the whole point. People work because they're supposed to do work. You got important work to do, and ain't none of it at no damn business park, ain't none of it for billionaires. I was doing important work. I have to do the important work before I go to slavery. Otherwise, real work doesn't get done. All right, let's do this. Do y'all getting the analogy here? You getting the analogy of what I'm saying about Jive? It's Jive. We are NEMO, and this is all the Jive surrounding us. The predators surrounding us, the pharmaceutical industry, the left, the right, central banking, the Crown Corporation, the Act of 1871. You don't have a government, you got corporations, the POPO, the DHS, MI6-7. They're surrounding us, and we're somehow being convinced that they think that we're all friends, and we're not friends. We're not friends. You are not a friend of a massive industry that has been poisoning you slow. Oh, we gotta find the Fauci. If somebody finds the Fauci thing, let me know, send it to me. I gotta hear Fauci talk about, they said he talked about Black Lives Matter for 15 minutes yesterday. I think that might be worth going into overtime.
To discuss this and more, I'm joined by my guest, Richard Wolff in New York.
Talking about recovery.
He is Professor Emeritus of Economics at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, as well as author of the recent books Understanding Socialism and Understanding Marxism. And in Westport, we cross to Peter Schiff. He is Chief Global Strategist at Euro-Pacific Asset Management.
First of all, Peter Schiff is a beast. I didn't know he was on the show. I was happy to hear him on the show because he says very important things. I don't agree with everything because he also has his disaster capitalism like everybody else, but Peter Schiff is a beast. Let me know if the sound is okay.
All right, gentlemen, crosstalk rules in effect. That means you can jump anytime you want, and I always appreciate it. Okay, let's go to New York. Richard, and looking at the news about the economy, looking at a lot of macro numbers, sometimes I think it's quite confusing on where the economy is going, particularly when we look at unemployment, permanent unemployment, and jobs that are permanently lost here. But the more I look at it, and you two gentlemen are preeminent experts here, I don't really think it's a U, V, or an L. I'm really quite taken with this K. A recovery. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. Is that an oversimplification, Richard? Go ahead.
Not at all. I think we've already seen that now for quite some time, at least 2, more 3 or 4 decades of growing inequality, both of wealth and income. And instead of that being understood as having contributed to the combination pandemic and crash we're living through, instead of that being understood, we see the crash having made it worse. the growth of the wealthy at the very top having outstripped everything we could have imagined, at the same time that now over 60 million Americans have had to file for one or another kind of state or federal unemployment compensation assistance. This is a system that is spinning out of control in terms of extremes of wealth inequality and income inequality, and there's nothing on the horizon that suggests that that's going to change. And so I think that is becoming a permanent quality of this economy. And in a society that used to, in the 20th century, pretend that it was a vast middle class, that capitalism was a tide that lifted all boats, I don't think this is politically or ideologically sustainable.
Peter, the same question to you, because if we look at the consumption patterns of the top 10%, during the worst of the pandemic, the lockdown.
Let me stop for a second. So is capitalism a tide that lifts all boats? Is socialism and communism? Yeah. So capitalism is not a tide that lifts all boats. Capitalism is literally a system that's designed to create cronyism to keep people on the bottom. All right. That is what it's designed to do by design. Remember how I used to be into capitalism? Y'all remember that? Anybody remember? Like free market capitalism. And I still understand the power of it. The price of everything goes down and down and down. Free market capitalism. You have free market capitalism if this cup is made and initially it's $14.95. And then Melissa says, "Oh, Gerard makes it for $14.95. I can do better. I can make it for $9.95." And Melissa is the billionaire. And Diane comes and says, "Nope, I got a new method of making it. We're going to use some automation." And she makes it for $3.99. And then eventually Angela comes along and the cup is 1 penny because she maximized the efficiency. You know that you are in a free market capitalism because the price of houses go down every year. The price of cars go down every year. The price of everything goes down every year to a point where it hits the bottom level the market can bear. Basically free. That's how you know you're in a free market capitalist system. And there's no reason for that to exist. As great as that would be in design, we have 3D printers and free energy now, so we don't even need that. But no, capitalism is not designed as a tide to raise all boats, as I used to think. Capitalism is literally a way of evacuating the wealth and resources and land out of a nation to the few. Cronyism is a part of the system. It is required. There's no such thing as crony capitalism. Cronyism is a part of the system. Eventually, a few have more than others, and those few will continue to drive the system, especially when you link it up with government. You link capitalism up with government, it means that every law that gets written is done in an oligarchical fashion, which is what y'all see. Which is every problem you take to government, they hand it to corporations and they make an industry and businesses out of the problems that you hand to them. Okay? So no, capitalism does not raise all tides. We don't need to go back to the old psychopathic normal of funneling the wealth of this nation to the few or the world. We need to go to a new system and not let the corrupted psychopathic cronyism, corporate ruled governments create the new norm.
Their consumption went down something like 15%, but the class that serves them, their income went down more than 30%. That's according to some reports here. So, I mean, and we do know the Jeff Bezos stories and the billionaire stories, how they've really done well out of all of this here. Is that akin to a K recovery? Because we do have this growing and maybe permanent underclass. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, I don't even care what letter you want to try to use to describe it. My problem is with the word recovery, because I don't think we've recovered at all. Sure, there has been a recovery in the stock market in that the market recovered what it lost in the early days of COVID. And yes, I mean,
And we know why that is, interjection. That's because the government that we consent to, because yes, we did that. They created the stimulus. They gave billions of dollars to their criminal friends trillions of dollars to their criminal friends on Wall Street and gave the people a tax credit. Wall Street didn't need to recover. Wall Street knew the government, the Democrats and Republicans and Green Party got their back, and that's exactly what he did. They threw off on the side of the road.
Recession that we're currently in began with a very substantial collapse. And yes, there's been a bit of a bounce off of that collapse, but we're still in recession. And so I don't know if recovering to being in a less severe recession than we were in at one point really qualifies as a recovery. And I don't think we've seen the lows. I think we're going to relapse. I think we're actually going to go down. And there's a good chance that the stock market might make new lows as well. But regardless of what happens with that bubble in the short run, the reality is that Main Street's pain has actually been Wall Street's gain. It's precisely because the economy remains so weak. And what's really at the root cause of the weakness is not capitalism. It's the failure to have capitalism. It's the Federal Reserve that is monetizing massive government debts that are only inflating asset bubbles. But at the same time, it is depriving the real economy of the resources that it actually needs to grow and build a real recovery that would in fact lift all boats. Instead, we're settling for a fake recovery because that's the easiest one to create. Because in order to have a real recovery, we're going to have some short-term pain in order to make that possible.
Okay, let's stop there real quick because he's partially right. If you had free market capitalism, yes, sure, you'd have a recovery. Will billionaires and trillionaire families in the industries that have all the power in the world give you free market capitalism so the poor people could recover and jump up in class? Hell no. Hell no. So capitalism on paper is a wonderful thing, but it's agnostic of a lot of modern technology that's being held from the people. So you could use free market capitalism to recover, but why would you? Because you're going to end up in the same system that you just left. Eventually, cronyism kicks in. Cronyism buys government, and you end up back right in the same mess of a cycle. That's what I say. I love Peter Schiff, but I disagree with him. He is a capitalist. He believes in an ism. I don't believe in an ism. All the isms died when we discovered that natural law is a thing. Free energy. Well, energy's always been free, but it's now free to a point where human beings don't have to be slaves for billionaires anymore. And 3D printers. So there's no reason for money to exist anymore. But he says that for the same reason that people are about to go out and vote again. Because they're a little higher on the hog, right? They're privileged enough to have enough that they can do a lockdown. And so they engage in these lockdown arguments, or they were doing well on the other side. That's why they're voting. They're voting because they aren't you. They're voting because they're not Adam Dingle. They're voting because they don't have any hard times coming. They just pretend they care about your hard times. They're still voting for the system. Jive, that's what it is. It's all jive. It's all jive.
Because what has to recover is not consumption, but production. We need more savings, we need more capital investment. And to enable that, we actually need higher interest rates, not lower interest rates.
He's right about that. What needs to recover is production, not consumption. Consumption doesn't need to recover. That's why they were sending people $1,400 a month to keep them buying. Right? The billionaires needed you buying. Amazon did very good. Walmart did very good. Target did very good. The big box stores did very good. Why? Because remember I told you that they'll use any ism they can to keep in power? They don't care about your capitalism, your socialism, or your communism. They will do whichever they need to stay in power. We just did a stint of 8 months of communism. The government dictated who profit and who failed. They're creating the 1930s with the super rich and the super poor. But he's right about production. Production needs to go up, but not the GDP for the black market Wall Street and the criminals in power. Production from a 3D printer perspective, production from a land protection, production from a food and water, the things that the human beings need, the things that the citizens die from not having. But they're so clueless, they don't realize that they have bare necessities that their neighbors will cut off their feet and eat them with basil if they don't fight for the government to start growing food to take care of everybody or give the land back to the people, because people take care of themselves better than government always has.
Rates, and we need a smaller government, not a larger government. So everything that we have done since the pandemic began is actually weakening the economy, and we're
right, because the economy's being weakened. It's a system designed on corruption. It does well when you're weak. It does bad when you're strong. So it needs you to be weakened. So everything that they call the pandemic was done by design, because it brings you to your knees. It allows them to stay in power.
Compounding all of the mistakes that we made before the pandemic. if you remember, we were already slipping long before anybody heard of COVID-19. In the fourth quarter of 2018, that's when the wheels started coming off the bus. That's when the Fed did the about face and started cutting rates. That's when they really started to move from quantitative tightening back to quantitative easing. Now, in March of 2020, right, those trends accelerated. We went right back to zero, and we skipped QE4 and went right to QE infinity. But all these policies, I agree.
It's a corrupt system. And this is where I can with Peter, but then I can't to a degree. I can because he says more truthful things than most of the economists. And he's been saying that this is coming a long time. He's been saying this is good. See, he's been saying a virus is coming for a long time. I love you. Please catch up. This is a global currency reset. He said this was coming for a long time and that they needed a global worldwide event to get people to embrace the next scam. But he's still a capitalist, right? He's still trying to maintain his position, and his whole job is based in economics, right? He wouldn't have a job if it weren't for the economic system. He's no different than police. Right? Police don't have a job unless you have criminals. Politicians don't have a job unless you have black lives that don't matter. The KKK doesn't have a job unless you got black people on the side to scare them. And Black Lives Matter don't have a job unless they encourage white folks on that side to scare them. It's all a system. It is all a system. And no, I'm not wise. Who's that? Bonkers? I'm not wise. I appreciate the compliments, y'all, but it's not working. He said you got some major wisdom in that brain of yours, brother. Much love. And no, it's not bonkers. I'm literally just repeating what we all know. Bonkers, that's all I'm doing. We all know this. We all know, and that's why people hit the like button. It's not because oh, he said something that's smart. No, it's because, oh, damn it, Grandmama told me that. Grandpa did say that. Oh, you know what? I had a professor that said, oh, yeah. This is all old knowledge. We know this. We know that we can't have power over each other. We know we can't have GDPs and economic systems. We know that GDPs are never for us. They're for billionaires and crony corrupt criminals. This is all the stuff that we already know. I'm not wise. I think there is a global reset that's going back to consciousness and common damn sense. We've been lost in the jive for too long, so we're just swinging back around.
What a lot of assets.
We're agreeing. We're agreeing, but I'm focusing on Richard here. But because these mistakes have benefited these people, why should they do anything about it? I mean, they made out. I mean, there's no incentive. Let me go to Richard here. There's no incentive to correct these mistakes. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I think the use of the word mistakes here, it always amazes me. It's a mistake over and over again, year after year. Peter's quite right, I agree. But these mistakes being systematic, being repeated over and over again.
Systems don't make mistakes repeatedly over and over again. That's what I posted this morning. Being a systems engineer for most of my life, I can tell you, systems don't make mistakes over and over and over and over. Every 8 years, every 4 years, every 2 years. It's not a mistake. Systems don't make mistakes over and over. Systems are designed to do things. You may not like what it does. That's your naivete. That is your gullibility. That is you believe in the jive. Systems don't make mistakes. Systems are designed to do what they're supposed to do. And we have an oligarchical system. All right. Corporations are in bed with government. You have a governing corporation since 1871, and the same thing in most nations. This is what it's designed to do. This is the system. It is not making any mistakes. The system is not broken. The system is designed to keep a mass majority on the bottom and a few at the top and continue to siphon from them. And if they complain, you write more laws. You create more prisons, which is why Obama created more prisons than elementary school, which is why Trump is putting more police on the street, which is why Jive and Bowden created the damn crime bill. That commercial's in my head now. Now I gotta say it. I'm sick of the commercial. I keep saying this damn commercial. The only thing that sickens me more than a mask commercial is it's not helping grandma. You got autoimmune conditions, you need a positive pressure suit. Do not listen to these ignorant people. The only thing that gets me is more than that is him saying 1,000, no, 2,000, it was 1,000 or 2,000. I forgot what he said. I'm so annoyed by it. He's got the vote for me thing. 1,000 or 2,000 people a day die from cuckoo virus. Please do not vote for anybody that's jiving you. But more importantly, don't vote for a system. Don't consent to a system that doesn't even respect you as a human being. Don't vote for anybody that just lies to you. Oh Lord, I gotta address this one. So, Mr. Crime Bill author, Mr. Patriot Act writer. It might be very possible that 1,000 to 2,000 people a day die from the flu in some crazy dimension somewhere that I've never seen. I don't know one person that got the cuckoo virus this year. I know only one person who got a flu, which was tested to not be the cuckoo virus, which is a crazy thing because the PCR test doesn't even actually work. It creates false positives. This person ended up negative. I want to see the statistic on how many people die a day because of the crime bill. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see a statistic that tells me how many people die per day from the multi-generational scarcity, poverty, job loss, didn't have a father, killed by police, died in prison, got the prison mindset, the slave mindset, HIV in prison, abused by pedophiles in prison, and just never recovered, so he couldn't raise you right, and you couldn't raise your kids right. And it literally created the system that we have today of impoverishment. Poor whites and poor blacks. I find it interesting that they apologize for the crime bill, but they never take responsibility for it. See, it's pointless to apologize for a thing. You don't actually mean it. So, if they were sad that they passed the crime bill, which the Democrats wrote and the Republicans helped, if they were actually upset with it, and it actually bothered them so much to apologize for it, I think Clinton was going to give the apology. You think that maybe they would consider maybe unknown? Maybe? Perhaps? Maybe accepting the multi-generational scarcity, poverty, and death that come from it. People die from the crime bill still today. They haven't undone it. They haven't undone it. That's what I'm saying. The system doesn't make mistakes. It's a system. They hand you Jive and you believe it, and so you keep going on with Jive and voting, and Trump and the rest of them controlled opposition. And they also wrote the Patriot Act. It's the same thing. We include the Patriot Act in there with the crime bill. We can put the two together. How many people died from the Patriot Act? Right? Who was it? Lavoy Finico? Right? All the patriots who were shot cold dead in the street, the ones who had their land taken from them and none of them own any land anymore. Same damn thing. Same damn thing. How many people lost their churches? How many people went to prison? They criminalized being Christian. I mean, come on. Y'all have to see through this stuff. You have to see through this. This system doesn't make mistakes. This is a system. It is engineered to prey upon fools. Don't be a fool. Don't be fooled. Do not be out on a fool's errand.
And are not dealt with adequately by suggesting that if only the mistakes weren't made, we would have some nice functioning capitalism that would again lift all boats. It seems to me that the people at the top have figured out that if and when they can make more money. If that drowns the economy in a downturn, they can turn that to their advantage as well, using monetary policy to inflate the stocks upon which the bulk of their wealth depends. This is a mistake that's so often repeated that the word mistake starts to lose its meaning. This is the way capitalism flares out. It might be nice to imagine that it would function some other way, but that's a utopian imagery of a stateless capitalism that probably never existed, but in the last 100 years for sure has disappeared as the state has become a major lever for the growth and concentration of wealth, with or without the mergers between the state and the biggest capitalists, which is happening more and more as we see. I think this is the real capitalism we have to live with, and not the imaginary one that Peter likes to suggest.
Yeah. All right, it's not an imaginary one. It's just Peter doesn't put all the pieces together because Peter has benefit in saying what he says. Just how your politicians had a benefit to the stimulus, right? And there was another good point, like this disaster capitalism everywhere. The sharks are swarming everywhere. That's why I have the picture back here. The sharks swarming and Nemo swimming in the middle, like can't see. Keep on swimming, keep on swimming, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. We got to put Dory up there too. So the politicians are getting great retirement. Not only are they told what to do, but they're getting great retirements because they're invested in the stocks from the stock market, which is why they gave them the money they did. And they don't give you a tax credit. And who paid for the tax credit? Somebody asked the question. We paid for the tax credit. Our children and our children's children, because hyperinflation hits before the end of the year. And after that, the price of bread is going to be about $82 a loaf, and the price of gas might be $40 a gallon because the deep state's not going to share with us. We're going to be on lockdown at home.
See, I'm in the middle.
How's the sound? How's the sound now? I turned off the audio altogether, so maybe it's getting good and bad. I'll go back and listen to it, but it's not on the background. I like the background because it keeps me calm, soothes me. I like the background.
Middle of the both between the big, and when you said you agree with Peter, I think you're agreeing with both Peters here. Okay, let me go to the other Peter here.
Yes.
Okay, you used the word capitalism, and I think that's I think it's very problematic because it doesn't seem to be benefiting a whole lot of people these days. Nonetheless, here. I would agree with Peter, our guest here, in the sense that I'm tired of socialism for the very, very rich, and then everybody else gets the crumb in the capitalist economy. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, well, first of all, don't confuse what America has now with capitalism. I mean, what's left of capitalism have been destroyed by socialism. So it's the socialism that has crept into the system that is responsible for the problems in this mass disparity in wealth. But also, you assume that this is going to end well for the rich. I assure you it's not. These asset bubbles are temporary. A lot of this wealth only exists on paper. People are not actually spending that money. It's just on a brokerage account statement. What is coming is a major collapse in the value of the dollar. The inflation is ultimately going to result in the cost of living rising much faster than the paper value of people's assets. So believe me, the rich are going to get theirs too. Everybody in America is going to be impoverished to a degree by these failed policies. It's not just the poor and the middle class. They're just going to suffer the most. But in the end, the rich are going to suffer too. The real solution for everybody is a return to capitalism. What we need is sound money, an independent Fed that no longer artificially manipulates interest rates to prop up asset prices and to subsidize government deficit spending. We need much higher interest rates. That will result in a big decline in spending from government, and consumers will have more savings, will have more capital investment. We need a lot less regulation as well as cuts to government spending so we can have a more vibrant economy instead of the sick economy we have now that is on life support, that is temporarily benefiting people who own the assets that benefit from the inflation that the Fed is creating. But ultimately, that inflation is going to rise, result in an increase in the cost of living for everybody. And we are headed for a dollar crisis. And clearly, the rich own more dollars than anybody else. And they have the most to lose when the value of the dollars they're holding completely implodes.
Okay, I think we have one thing all three of us have in common. A crisis is on the horizon here. But Richard, how can you save money? How can you invest money if you don't have a job? I mean, it's very simple here. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed a little bit by this. We're going to have high interest rates. We're going to really crunch down on the economy. You mentioned in passing that the consumers will have to save more. They don't have anything left to save from. That's why the level of savings of the great mass of Americans is virtually zero or negative. Already, they've been suffering for so long. There's nothing left. To crunch down on them, which is already happening now, is a recipe for much more turmoil and chaos in this society than we're already seeing. I agree with Peter that this is going to end very badly, and it's going to deflate the bubble at the stock market alongside of everything else. But for me, this is the end of an empire. For the first time in my adult life, I don't see a way out. I don't see a solution emerging. I used to admire the way capitalism overcame the Great Depression and all the other afflictions that it has imposed on the people around it. But I don't
Capitalism
see one
didn't
now.
impose those inflictions. Government did.
No,
Capitalism got us out of it.
Wait a minute. It struck me as one remarkable thing, Peter. To blame socialism for the ills of capitalism is an extraordinary move at a time like this when the socialist movement is coming back from a period of historic weakness, precisely at the time that the growth of inequality went rampant, as you yourself
socialism
said.
has been alive and well beneath the surface, undermining the structure of the American economy. Look, you're talking about the fact
that socialism.
All right, gentlemen, I have to jump in here. We're going to go to a hard break, and after that hard break, we'll continue our discussion on whether this is a K recovery state with our team.
The Hydro Bucket is all about convenience. With the Hydro Bucket, we can check the nutrient solution, we can check our accessories, we can adjust, all without having to remove the lid, disturb the plant, or ever move the bucket.
Welcome back to CrossTalk, where all things are considered. I'm Peter Lavelle. To remind you, we're discussing whether there'll be a K recovery. Okay, Richard, let me go back to you in New York. A few years ago, I met an Indian businessman, very successful Indian businessman. And at the time, India's economy was doing quite well. Again, usually using these macroeconomic indicators. Okay, GDP growth, income, number of people employed. But at the same time, there's like 200 million people that live in stark poverty in India. And I said to him, I said, is your Indian model just to accept that you're going to have 200 million people in stark poverty? Because your economy is growing as an investment target. People are pouring money into it. I mean, it has the Indian economy since accepted it's going to have an underclass. So I'm asking you, is this what's happening to America, where we're going to have an underclass, permanent underclass, and it will. The perception is that there'll be enough political stability to maintain the status quo? Because it seems to me, I agree with the last remarks you made in the first part of the program, is that, I don't see a way out here. Go ahead.
I see a way out. Nobody see a way out. I see it. Some people. I think somebody posted it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to not move. Tell me how the sound works out. I'm gonna freeze and talk for a minute. Tell me if it's clear. So that'll determine that it is a microphone that probably has a bad short end. So, damn it. Where are my notes at? I was writing notes. Good Lord. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. I think we're learning in a variety of ways to live with an enormous underclass. I might disagree with you that we didn't already have one. I think we did, but I think we are now learning to live with a much larger one. And you can see that in a variety of ways. The acceptance, despite what people claim, of 200,000 people dead from a pandemic that didn't have anything like that impact in many, many other countries. The United States has 4.5% of the world's people. It has 25% of the COVID cases and 25% of the deaths. For a rich country, that's a stupefying failure of management, but it's also the acceptance of unspeakable suffering in its population as if it were normal. And ditto for the level of poverty, ditto for the level of discrimination. Dr. Anthony Fauci yesterday at...
Oh, you about to say it. Yeah, I can find that speech. So a couple things. It's not unspeakable. It is not being spoken. There's a difference. You don't have a population. You're not citizens. You're commodities. They don't give two dams about your suffering, your life, your water, your freedom, your food, your guns, your gold, none of that. And this gold thing needs to stop, people. Please stop. Please stop. I got in a discussion with somebody about gold yesterday. Gold ain't gonna save you. It's not your gold if you live from sea to shining sea that you don't own, okay? If you live from sea to shining sea to coast, you know, and in Britain too. China, all the rest of them, people are like, yeah, we need to buy gold. That's where we need to put our money in gold. If you put your money in gold, the federal government's going to thank you, all right? You don't have a federal government, United States Incorporated. When they revalue the currencies, they're coming for your gold. Okay? Your jewelry too. Because the currency will be revalued and they will be leveled against the other currencies around the world, China, Russia, all of them coming together, based on how much gold they have. So yes, Britain is going to steal your gold. They ain't have much to begin with. But America's definitely coming for your gold. You know why? Because they spent every last dime of that gold in Fort Knox. The only thing in Fort Knox is a sandwich, a rat, some cheese, a little bit of lint, and probably a note from JFK. That's all you got. So when it's time to revalue the currencies and America needs to say how much gold they got, Obama made sure with the NDAA, as he was told to, that every ounce of gold you buy belongs to your government, and they will take it. I promise you that. Okay. Couple things. Whew. All classes will suffer. Absolutely. Because we're going back to the 1930s, right? We're going back to the super rich and the super poor. You will have a permanent underclass because you have to. They are bleeding the middle class and the upper class like tourniquets to become the lower class, if not the underclass. Why? Because people don't have the ability to free themselves. If they don't have jobs, food, freedom, they live in the stacks and they're getting $1,300 checks a month, they will not defy the system. If they barely have enough food, they will do exactly what they're told to do. That is your new normal. You will be less than a slave. Kunta Kinte and Chicken George have it way better than what they're planning for you. And it's not a personal thing. It's not a personal thing, and it damn sure ain't a racial thing. They don't give two damns about you. You don't even exist to them. They just don't want you around. You're breathing their oxygen. It's their planet, and your nostrils are to breathe. You're taking in their oxygen. It's not a personal thing. It's just a system. The system is designed to loot countries, and it is looting. It's done looting the international countries, and it's just looting yours from inside. All right. So Peter says something about returning to sound money. Peter, once again, is saying what he needs to say. All right, he's saying what he needs to say to keep his job. We don't need sound money. You don't need money anymore. There's no reason for money to exist once you made 3D printers. We've covered that. Please let me know that you understand what I'm saying. Question money. That's what you need. You don't need sound money. You need to be grown enough to question money. You need to question why there's a UFO and an F-18 gun camera and how that is flying, how it's suspended in the air. It's not the Jetsons, not George Jetson, it's not Spacely Sprockets. It's Invention Security Act of 1951, the one that they're hiding the real propulsion systems behind you because they don't want the empire to collapse. And yes, it is an empire, and it is collapsing. It's an oil empire, fossil fuel empire. If you're fighting climate change, please keep up. Please keep up. They just don't want the empire to collapse, which is why they refuse to let you make anything other than what was based in oil and plastic. Kept the empire afloat, which is a great thing that we are today because the empire is collapsing. The question is, are we going to consent to keep it up and to embrace our new normal? Or are we going to just completely collapse it? We need a paradigm shifting moment on modern technology, not modern public technology, modern real technology, real science, the real sciences behind Nikola Tesla, the real sciences that came from Wilhelm Reich, the real sciences in that UFO that's flying in the picture. All right, I feel like I'm repeating myself, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. Any questions on that? I'm not gonna repeat myself. I hate repeating myself. I feel like we say this every damn day. All right, all capital dominated. Yes, yeah. Beaufont said this. Beaufont said, right, absolutely right. He said they're all capitalist systems. He's right. They're all capitalist systems. Like, no, we need communism. It's a capital-based system. If it's a capital-based system, it is capitalism. Right? The only difference is in capitalism, I think they share a little more with you, but eventually they're going to siphon it from you in the end, so it doesn't really matter. That's the whole cronyism part. But if your system is based in capital, it is a capitalistic system. Didn't we talk about that a few months ago? Right? Socialism and communism. If there's money in the system, and money, people want the money, the people with the most money gonna make the decisions. Right? It's all capitalism. They don't literally give you an option. And maybe that's the reason why they cheer communism and socialism, because they don't really care. They're the people with the most capital still own the system. All right, I'm gonna do comments. I gotta pee and I gotta go. And you were wrong on that, Bofon. No, I did not take a pee break. I'm in slavery, brother. I'm in slavery. I got to pick cotton between. I follow and I listen, but I gotta do what I gotta do. That's the world that we live in. You got to maintain your job, which is how I started out on this. Is you want to make sure that you maintain your ability to survive through this and you don't join the permanent underclass. If you join the permanent underclass too soon, you will do exactly what the system tells you to do. All right, move the comments down below. Woo! Because I actually have to be. All right, people's right to know versus need to know. And Glenn, people have to demand the right to know. They have to demand that the rights aren't given to them, that the rights are with people, that you have to have an open source society, no secret technologies, no secret sciences. Lots of laughter, like the episode of South Park where the big oil was saying, sorry for the spill. Scrody Booger Balls. Oh, did you change your name? I thought it was Burger Balls. It's Booger Balls. That's a good name. I'm sorry. Deep, bro. It is very deep, Bonkers. It's very deep. This is very deep. And people who join later are like, I thought we were talking about the cuckoo virus. It's just like, man, there's so many people who are so far behind. But all we can do is give you information. We can't make you read it. We can give you information, but like we're saying, we gotta stop bringing information, mathematics, fact, science, laws, and to emotional fights. The whole mass thing is an emotional fight. The whole cuckoo virus thing is it's all been politicized by sharks because they want to feed on NEMO. They're all circling like this because they want to eat you. You're NEMO. It's the Democrats right there. DNC is right there. The GOP is over there. That's Britain, May, Merkel, Big Pharma, big tech companies, 5G companies, and the networking companies, and they're all just circling. They're getting ready to feed. We need to be smart enough to see that. I don't know, hopefully the audio issue is gone. Tell me about it, Bonkers. I'm trying not to move. Tell me how it works now. Christians are the ultimate target end game. Yeah, everyone's a target, Diane. The whole end game is total global slavery. Complete digital medical police state where they dictate everything to all. That's the whole purpose of every government. It's always existed since feudalism till now, since chieftains, is total control of people. What about the Tesla coil, free energy coming? Give the Trump team a chance. The cabal is falling. Gene, I hope you're right. I always say this. I always say it. And I said it with Obama too. You know, I hope y'all are right. So the people, they put me in the Trump camp, Gene. That's just how people's brains work nowadays. I just don't believe in slavery. And I don't think Donald Trump is crazy enough to release free energy to the Americans. They've been working to the world. Because that would end everything that wealth stands on. That would end everything that power stands on. So for me, it's a real hard bite that they would murder JFK for ending the Fed and a few other things that he got into, and they wouldn't kill Trump if he tried to give people their freedom. Ending slavery, it either comes with extreme violence or it comes from us walking away from a system that we've been sent to. Right now, Gene, my solution is not any of the politicians. I don't believe in heroes and I don't believe in villains. Donald Trump is just a guy. Donald Trump. He'd be a fool to take on the people who own the global plastic and oil market. That's where I'm coming from. I think that the future is too important to trust a Donald Trump. I think the future is too important to trust the Jive and Bogan. I think the future is too important to trust the United States Incorporated. I think the future is too important to trust to anybody who claims the right of power over you. I think we have to do it. We have to do it. We need a global conscious movement where we stand up and walk away. Actually, this is the Invention Security Act. See, this is the note that they get anytime somebody pulls that, where they try to create a type of technology that would actually free the slaves. No one is that crazy. Donald Trump, to me, I think he's crazy. He's a rich kid, but so is Barack Obama. He wasn't a rich kid, but he still went along with the crazy system. It's the system that's crazy. It's the system that we have to fight. There are no teams within the system that will take on the system. The system will never empower us to depower it. The system doesn't make mistakes. The system is designed this way for a reason. It's a bipartisan system for one reason, because we will fail every attempt we make at toppling it through the system, through the tools that it gives us. Good morning, Steven. It's like popping and tapping. Did it stop Bonkers or somebody else? I'm not moving. I'm not moving at all right now. Y'all got me playing freeze game. Man, if I find that y'all playing with me, you know how upset I'm going to be. Like Tracy was trolling me earlier. Like, oh, let's see if we can get Gerard to stop moving. With friends like this, who needs enemies? All right. Talk about the lot of stage, the sole purpose of being a leverage of wealth for the jump before you activate 1871. Absolutely both fun. Everything for me goes back to the 1871. Go read the Act of 1871. You don't actually have a government. You have a governing corporation. That governing corporation dictates everything that happens. It is a for-profit organization. It is not a government. When you don't have a government, you got to stop acting like you have a government. When you have a rulerment, you must respond like you have a rulerment. It is pointless if you have the numbers and you know how to fight in this ring, but you don't know when and who to fight. Right. Did I say that right? I think I said it right. I gotta go, y'all. I'm sorry. I really gotta go. We don't have a government, people. We only have it at the state level, and that's about to go because we're about to sue them into nothingness. This is all that Tesla stuff. That's where all that went. Use a psyop. It is Diane. They know what they're doing. They've been planning this for a very long time. They know who, how, when, and what to say to get people to let the NEMOs. Y'all were being circled by sharks. Just pretend that is your child. You're being circled by sharks. Do you really want to feed sharks? Because you don't have endless food. Yes, Venezuela's food also, Melissa. Venezuela is not about Operation Libertad, and I think that was a cute thing. It's about the Koch brothers and the oil. That nation was heading down the path of giving its oil to the citizens, and you can't have that anywhere. You might actually have freedom if you have people who are saying their government. There you go. Is it G, this song? Oh, I love this song. This is Pat Riley. Free the people. This is what we need to focus on. You will never free the people begging the plantation that enslaves the people. Probably being recorded by alphabets. Have a beautiful, yep, there's the weekend. Okay, stop tapping on your desk. Oh, yeah, it's breakdown. I'm not tapping on nothing, man. I'm froze. I'm not even moving. I'm barely breathing. I feel like I'm meditating. But I gotta pee. I'm gonna pee on myself. I gotta go. Listen, this is Gerard. Love y'all to death. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Please do your homework. And stop believing the jive. Grown up, you're an adult. Or you should understand when somebody's lying to you. Take it.